Undergrunt.
Sometimes you just have to take what life gives you.
Cause life is like a mop, and sometimes life gets full of dirt and crud and bugs and hairballs and stuff.
You
gotta clean it out.
You
You gotta put it in there and rinse it off and start over again. And
sometimes life sticks to the floor so bad, you know a mop.
a mop?
It's not good enough.
It's not good enough.
You gotta get down there.
Like?
With a toothbrush.
And you gotta.
You gotta really scrub, cause you gotta get it off.
You gotta really try to get it off.
But if that doesn't work,
That doesn't work. You can't give up.
you gotta.
You gotta stand right up.
You gotta rent a window and say,
Hey, these floors are dirty as hell.
and I'm not gonna take it anymore!
Ship in the center of Mars was a sack of souls with experiment scars. When a psychedelic monk said, I'll take two, and he put them in a rocket and he ate a lot of glue. And he shot them straight to Earth when they turned into babies. They were named Bob and Matt, and they rarely got rabies. And the monk made a movie of their whole entire lives. They were panoramic scenes and zooms of the time. One time Bob had sex with a ladle, and one time Matt lost a vet to a cradle, and another time Bob caught a dinosaur mom, and another time Matt bought a replica of Guam. And all this more is on a DVD set, only $20.99 with the purchase of a gem. But if you call right now and say, where's my whisk, we'll include this bonus disc.
Hey, welcome to Bonus Disc! I'm your co-host, Bob Rose, and with me is my host and the guy who chose the movie and invited the guest, Matt P.A.
Oh,
Hey, Matt.
hi. I'm
Thanks
just a
for
man.
having us all here.
I'm just a human being. I'm just a man trying
Thank
to
you
live.
for inviting with us City Huey, Curt
Hey,
Schmelz,
everybody.
Also known as not Brad.
also known as Curt Schmelz.
I mostly
Anyway.
go by City Huey from now on, though.
Forever. You're going to change your license to that.
Well, who knows what anything means anymore?
Speaking of licenses,
Yes.
we watched what might be the greatest car movie ever.
I told you it was good, man.
Redline, a movie that apparently came out in American theaters.
In the year 2007.
That I don't remember, which is very rare.
Oh, Lord.
It's starring Tim Matheson and Eddie Griffin and a bunch of people that don't matter.
Are we?
I still don't really know if I believe it really came out in theaters. Even though you
did.
watched
It
the
did.
bootleg of it.
I
own
looked
a
it up.
bootleg of
I looked
it.
it up, man. It came out in theaters.
I bought it. I bought a fucking theater bootleg. That's why when I started watching, I was like, "Why is this not just a bootleg?"
Was
of a
Eddie
DVD?
Griffith
What-
more popular than I remember him being
Griffin.
in 2007?
He wasn't.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Called him Griffith.
I mean, if
Andy Griffith.
Who the fuck
Andy
is
Griffith
that?
was in this movie. Yeah.
If he played the bad guy, that would be kind of awesome.
Yeah.
No, I bought this like a DVD, and I was like watching, and I couldn't believe how shitty the quality was. And then we were watching, and I was like, it's not even that much better. The picture's clear, but the sound is like a mess.
I mean, it was shot fine. Shot,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
edited. Whoa, we'll get.
Look, that's
We'll talk about that. But
that
it-
was a really decent, like, Puff Daddy music video, like level.
Dude, it is the
footage,
best
you know?
Puff Daddy
Yeah.
music video that ever existed. What you said during the movie, Kurt, that you think that somebody came up with a soundtrack and then made a movie to promote it.
It makes
Which
sense.
is the most insane idea ever. Hey, I've got a collection of songs that exist already. Let's figure out a way to market it.
That probably happened. I bet if we looked it up, some movie that came out in the 90s or early 2000s was made that way. They came with the soundtrack first that they wanted to sell. Like,
I went
Annie
through-
Records.
Cyndi Lauper wrote Goonies
Yeah.
and the song.
They saw the video and they were like, well,
We should
gotta
make a movie off of
about
that.
these
Yeah.
Goonies guys.
oh, man. I seriously went through how long? Like 45 minutes of this movie thinking it was a 2003 movie because it's so dated in its like style.
I told you, it's
Dude,
like
it
someone
really looks
programmed. It's like a computer program to write a movie. It was like, make a movie
Stock
about
humans.
2003.
I
You know,
need
like
a blonde guy who
iMovie.
drives a car. Oh, okay. He looks like a complete fucking douchebag.
No,
like
and
the most
his face,
stereotypical
he is
like,
like
douche I've
he's
ever
like
seen.
he came out of a cloning machine of a white human. Like he had no facial features to remember.
He was just a white head, and he was just a flesh mound.
This
like,
movie
in douchebag clothes. It was awesome.
almost no one's faces moved. It was like they Botoxed the hell out of everyone before they filmed. So it's like there's like no eyebrow movement in like the entire movie.
Oh no!
Even like when the cars are driving, like their hair's whipping, and it's like their faces are just like completely like plastic.
Solid. It's nuts. Everyone except for the bad guy, which we will talk about. Everyone else to me just felt like they were a background
We're
character
still not
in a
really
Fast and
sure
the
that
Furious
there
movie.
was a bad guy.
Like, what did you say, Kurt? You said it was like they made this movie during the day when they had nothing to do
when
on
they were
Fast and the
waiting
Furious sets.
when they were waiting to film the night scenes in all the Fast and Furious movies, they're like, okay, well, we set up the set at 2 p.m. We gotta wait till like the sun goes down at 8. Let's just film this movie Redline in our extra spare time here.
It's
And
like
they pulled people that were like in the crowd scenes, like
Yeah,
in the
it's like-
back. They were like, "You look hot enough."
Yeah, come here.
Fast and
Say
Furious
some
extras.
lines.
Say some lines.
Say a couple lines because there's not many, so don't worry
The
about it.
producer like called Eddie Griffin. Was just like, "Can you just like come here and be you and just say shit that doesn't."
Eddie Griffin was like hanging out as part of like a.
All right.
Yeah, we
gotta
gotta
start the movie. We have to start the
So
movie.
we have to start the movie. We're way too deep in.
So what does it start?
Matt, you've seen this twice.
It starts
Yeah.
with the guy
It's such-
driving to Las Vegas in
That's right.
2
It's-
hours.
I mean, the open.
Okay, so fuck.
God damn it!
It's
The
Eddie
opening sequence
Griffin.
is in the garage when they're making bets, right?
Oh,
it's
they do
like
give
Eddie
everyone's
Griffin.
name.
There's a like a voiceover going like
It's
There's a world where bets
Natasha.
exist.
It's Natasha, the main character.
Yeah, she's introing the movie. She doesn't even show up for 10 minutes anyway.
She's introing the movie, and the character's like all like Guy Ritchie style, like awesome, where they like freeze frame
boom,
and their name
infamous.
comes up.
Yeah.
Eddie Griffin's
His
name is infamous.
He's a record producer that's part of an elite car racing
betting circuit.
club.
What? Yeah,
It's
That
like doesn't make
is
any
illegal,
sense.
but has police working at them all the
We'll
time.
get to
we'll
it,
get to
Kurt,
that.
stop.
Kurt. Yeah, don't jump ahead.
God,
They're like
my
Mounties.
God.
They aren't even police.
All right, so
The highway patrol.
they're like hanging out with all these like chicks, and it's like him.
No,
and
wait.
he's like
There's a plethora of hot women at all times,
everywhere, all the time.
It's
pretty much almost
insane.
every scene starts with a titty or a boob or something, or like
which
a
is
butt
indicative
crack.
of
I like a
Fast and the
titty or a
Furious.
boob.
A titty or a boob.
Or a boob. What are the
There's
other?
a huge difference between titties and boobs, so we don't have time to get into it.
We're not biology disc.
So Eddie Griffin's talking on the phone to fucking Tim Matheson.
Tim Matheson.
Who I forget his character's
He's
name.
Tim
It doesn't
Matheson,
matter.
yeah, he's
I'm
Tim
pretty sure he was
Matheson.
playing Tim.
Matheson. Yeah, this
Which
movie is like the
sounds
Tim
like-
Matheson story.
Oh fuck!
This
They
is what
never
that
say
Animal
his
House
name.
money gets you.
Yeah.
So it's like him being like, "Yeah, I bet you can." Let me talk to. He wants to talk to the crazy guy. He's like, "Let me make a bet
Right.
with Michael, who we'll get to. Who
Michael
he
is the guy from Braveheart that deceived Braveheart in the end, but felt
Yes,
bad
because
about
his
it.
father,
That guy
because his leprous father told
told him to. He's that actor, but he gained like 50 pounds.
Yeah, he's doughy and weird looking. He's awesome.
Oh, he's
He's
amazing.
the best part
This
of the
movie
movie.
is great because of
He's
him.
the only character I cared about. It's like
Well, because
weird.
he's the only one who doesn't look like he was like drawn by a Hollywood art department.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like,
there's
he's the only one that
another
looks like a
living
person.
mannequin.
You know,
Yeah.
everyone else looks like mannequins.
He
and
looks
shit.
like he's had the flu at some point in his life.
Oh, fuck. So he's like laying on top of a car with this bottle of pills, and he's like, I bet you, what is it, $1
Right.
million I can get to you in Las Vegas in 2 hours. And
This
the
movie's
guy's
like
like,
this movie's kind of like the douchebag rat race.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's like $500,000, I'll get there in 2 hours. And then Tim Matheson's like, how about $1 million? And it's 1 hour and 45 minutes. And it's like double the time, just 15-minute change.
And we don't know what the pills are yet, right?
No.
They don't show us.
No, they
what-
don't say.
They don't say
no.
what the pills are.
You see
at
it's
this
drugs
moment.
or something.
Yeah, it's something.
Limitless
Right.
pills or something.
So then,
Yeah. Limitless pills. Yeah, this is the prequel to Limitless.
I mean, Tim Matheson comes out on
Could
top
be.
like constantly throughout
Yeah.
the movie. So
Yeah, his character has no arc. It's just
No.
like I win all the time and
he's
fuck
like,
you.
fucking Hollywood, woo! Like it's it.
Yeah, okay, so like the
That's when-
opening credit sequence is juxtaposed with
Him
the
driving
douchebag white kid
Josh.
driving from doing like a what
Zach
a 3-hour
Morris
drive.
in 2003.
Yeah, he right. It's the 2003 version of Saved by the Bell.
basically.
Yeah, it's him driving to Michael, the Braveheart guy.
No, he's
driving
Michael
to
He's driving from Michael to Tim
Matheson.
Matheson, right?
Yeah.
Right. And we're showing the credits at this time and a bunch of insane shit like
That's where it
him
gets the name
driving
Redlines
past.
from. I think the movie gets its name from
when
that.
he was
like,
driving, all these CGI red lines are like following his car and stuff.
The car
No,
he
it's
was
because he turns his
driving,
headlights off, so just his brake lights were the red lights that
Right, but
skimmed
that shit
past
was
the
added.
The car's license plate said
Redline.
I mean,
Yeah.
this movie sucks, dude.
No, it's
sucks
amazing.
so bad. No, I mean, yes. And
Matt, you
yes.
defined it best. You said it out-torques Torque
It does.
because Torque is a satire.
This isn't,
whereas
and it's
this is
funnier than Torque.
They were straightforwardly making this movie. There's not like an ounce of like intended humor
We'll get
here.
to my favorite
Yeah.
part that makes you realize how
Nuts.
misunderstood the
The
people.
movie
like,
is. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so he drives past. This will
drives
come
past
back up later.
Yeah.
he drives past a cop giving somebody a ticket,
a motorcycle
and he goes
cop.
so fast that the motorcycle falls over in the wake of wind.
And the cop.
And
They
the cop,
both-
right? They both fall over.
He's a room. And they both fall over. I mean,
Could a car going 200 miles an hour even do that to somebody?
I mean, it would.
Wind?
I don't know. I don't
He
think
was
it
going
would.
220, man.
I don't know
220.
about I've never driven 220.
I don't know. Well, the editing
I'll
is
do it on the way
insane.
The
home.
important
apparently. I
part
don't
is
know.
that he's doing all this to go from L.A. to Vegas to deliver the pills to the dude in
Yes.
2 hours.
In 2
Well,
hours.
he also does the Knight Rider shit where he turns his lights off and he puts like this like night vision scope
on one
on
eye. He's driving at like
You don't need
250
depth
miles
perception
an
to
hour.
drive.
No,
who
he
the fuck
literally
cares?
gets Terminator
Not at
vision.
220 miles an hour. Who gives a shit about depth perception? Just fucking you're flying.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, it looks like the scene from the beginning of the Terminator when he's looking at everything. It's like analyzing the road and shit. Yeah,
Like it's helping him drive better. Like what the fuck are we looking at?
whatever. It doesn't matter. It's
so he
edited.
gets there.
Just always know that whatever we're talking about, it's edited at a breakneck pace.
Yeah, you don't know. Like
You can't tell geography or anything.
I like I said this when
There's so many times I'm not sure if they're still in Vegas or in LA. They switch back and forth between the two, but you
doesn't
can almost
matter.
never.
It
I
doesn't
think
fucking
that's
matter.
what I think that's what the Elvis
They're
guy's
in
there
a city
for.
of douchebags. Just know that.
When they go to Colombia, look, we get to it, man. Fucking, what am I?
This
what
is
am
on
I-
Amazon. Watch this too.
Yeah,
I-
please.
God, it's so hard to describe.
Yeah, I mean the cutting is like madness. It's just like I've never seen
Even
something
for now,
so-
even for like 2015,
Yeah,
this was like over edited.
This should have come out in like 2025 when people don't
even
care
pay
about-
attention to anything.
It doesn't need to have a story. I just need flashing. Okay, the talking quietly over a soundtrack.
When we get to the point in history, we're just watching like color bars go across the screen. It's like,
whatever.
yeah, it's the beginning of Idiocracy.
But yeah,
sort
he
of.
flies
Good.
past a cop going like 220. And he didn't see him and he didn't hear him because that was the funny part where we all were like, wait a minute, the cop was listening to those sounds.
Yeah, they
Oh yeah,
turns
the
the soundtrack
soundtrack. He
music off.
turns the radio and the cop car off, and the soundtrack stops. But that cop, it's been like 3 minutes since we got to him.
Yeah.
So we've been
He's been
listening.
driving for. He's just gone from LA to fucking Las Vegas. I I mean,
Why were we listening to
been
the
hours.
sound in his car? It's great.
yeah,
that's
no,
so
it's
great.
Beautiful.
Okay, and then so he makes it, right?
Yeah,
Because
Yes,
it's showing
he
us
gets
the
there-
timer as everything is happening.
He throws them in his hands
He
with like 3
throws
seconds.
in the bottle
to
of
spare.
pills as it was 6. Was it 6 seconds?
Well, he comes in the door at 6.
Right.
Then he throws it and it goes through the air and he catches it like it's like 3 or 2 seconds.
And then Tim Matheson looks
It's
at
really
the bottle.
tense.
It is. No, it's epic.
slow-mo.
Tim Matheson looks at the bottle and it's Viagra.
Viagra, which is awesome. I hope it's like weed pills to make your dick super hard, like Viagra.
Oh yeah, we didn't even say like also until you don't see this scene happen yet, but during like the opening credits, it's intercut with shots of women ripping pillows open.
Oh, yeah, you
Which we
didn't know
haven't
why.
seen. It's been
We didn't know what
established
was going on.
that was what was happening in Tim Matheson's bedroom while he waits for the Viagra to get there.
Yeah,
because it's
for
easier
2
to.
hours.
For
'Cause
2
an hour and
hours.
45 minutes.
He watched 2 hours of 2 girls having a pillow fight,
fight.
just sitting there waiting for his
That's what I'm saying.
Viagra.
Tim
Well, I guess if
Matheson
he
is
couldn't
the
get an
greatest
erection,
character
like-
in this movie. He was just sitting there like, yeah, get here in an hour and 45 minutes. Crossed his legs and just had like his side of the room full of pillows. And he was like, just fight forever. He just keeps throwing pillows.
feeding them pillows.
Waiting.
Yeah,
Waiting
go
until I
for
get
it.
my dick pills. What's up? Dude, it's awesome.
Because you can only get those from L.A. He couldn't have just gotten some in Las Vegas and gotten them within like 10 minutes.
There's no drugs in Las Vegas.
Oh no, it's just dry town, baby.
People go there to watch pillow fights.
Yeah,
not
all
do
the
drugs.
time.
Oh Lord. So
Right.
he gets the pills. They're like,
right. That's our introduction to them, sort of, pretty much. And then it goes to the next morning at Nat's, right? That's what we're introduced to, like the family,
We
the
find out
heart,
she's
the
your
heart of the
average girl
movie,
next
the heart of the movie.
the
It's
heart.
a girl next door if you live next door to a raceway.
Yeah, that's what her introduction is.
She's a girl next door, but she looks like a supermodel. Like,
She looks like
Well,
she's
but no,
made
she-
out of acrylic or
Yeah.
something. It's weird.
She looks like if you took every model of like the year 2003 and put them into a computer program and it made like the averages of all of them.
I like that we're harping on the 2003.
But it's like it doesn't look like a person. It looks like an averages of all people.
Yeah,
it's
no.
like one of those people whose face is like too symmetrical. You're like, that's not a real face. That's like
She's an amalgamated model of,
Yeah.
of women. She just looks way
Really?
too. She's not like a movie
Her
star
mouth
look.
was so
She looks like she's
symmetrical
supposed
when
to
she
be-
smiled. It looked like insane.
I like that we're like criticizing a woman for being like
no,
perfect.
But no, she was though. It's
She
like,
looks
really-
beautiful. It's
It's
not
like
the
you're
problem.
too beautiful.
she
It's,
looks like she's
weird.
supposed to be super hot, but you're just like, yeah, I'm not really that attracted to her though. She's like everything that is supposed to be perfect, but you're like, it's
Because the
also
whole
just
movie
too
reeks
much.
of douchebagness. Like
Yeah.
everyone in it's kind of you don't want to actually hang out with the characters.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Except for Michael, really.
Dude, I would love to hang out with Michael.
I don't know, I'd like to hang out with
Michael.
Infamous so I can feel like I'm funny being around someone that unfunny.
Burn
so-
on Eddie Griffin. Jeez.
Nat is the main character.
She
She
didn't write
works
the script as far as I know.
right. She works and lives. We don't know where anyone lives.
No, that's what I said
Yeah.
before. It's like,
Yeah,
we've
I
never
don't know
been
where
anyone's home.
We don't
No,
know
we
what
find
anyone's
out where
doing.
Michael lives.
They
He lives
live
in
on
Colombia.
the road because the road is God or something. I don't know.
She
No, they live in that
works and
trailer right
lives-
next to the
Oh
place.
yeah, we do see her house.
She lives in
We
a
never
trailer
see
with her.
Cole's house.
She lives in a
Or
trailer
Carlos's house.
with her mom and her stepfather, and
Well, they
run
live in another trailer.
another trailer.
She has a trailer
And they
there.
live
It's not important. They all live in trailers. That's what's
They live in
important.
trailers.
But they do
The
$8,000
waspiest trailers ever.
Right, they
It's
look
like
so nice.
Martha Stewart designed their
Martha Stewart
trailers.
Okay, so it's like it's a garage and a race training facility next
Yes.
to a racetrack.
Yes.
Right.
That's why it's a training facility. It's a race training facility. It's just a track people train on.
So
That's
they-
why the burn face guy is there.
Right. And they all like have
One of my second favorite character, by the way. Who
Right,
has no
he's
lines. I love
amazing.
him. His
Wait, hold
Even
on,
the
we'll
bass
get it.
player in the
His
band gets a
existence
line.
is incredible. It's so
yeah.
good.
So she has to exchange some heartfelt shit with her mom and her stepdad.
stepdad, yeah.
She goes, "I'm gonna go
I got
practice
practice."
in the garage."
This is what I said. This is the first time you were like, "What is this? This movie doesn't know what it is
It
at all."
doesn't
It
at
turned
all.
into California Dreaming. Like,
yeah. She is in a band. What was the name of the band?
Moving Violation.
Moving Violations.
Oh, this movie's
They're
great.
practicing. I just dumb, but they're practicing in the garage, facing the back of the garage when
With
they have
the-
this beautiful vista.
It was like a painted tarp of mountains.
But they're
and
looking
shit.
at a painting of what is happening behind. Like,
Right
they
behind
could just
them.
Look at the real thing, and they're like
Right.
singing to a wall. But I think it's only so that they can do that when Eddie Griffin
can walk up
Yeah,
behind
walk
shows
up
up in
without
his
them
like
seeing,
in his
yeah.
pimp barricade or brigade or whatever the hell he was.
He produces music apparently. I don't know. He's got this
No,
crazy
I know that's what he
entourage
does.
of like these. Well, we'll get to there are three at the beginning, and then we'll get to what happens to one of them. Which is awesome.
Eddie Griffin pulls up with his driver and three women.
And I'm like 4 other people. He's got like
He's
a
got-
huge
he's
posse
got-
every time
he's
you
got
see
an
him.
entourage. It's, before Entourage, he's got an Eddie Griffin entourage, and he sees
This
her.
movie is like what one of the side characters in Entourage gets
would
to
have
make.
produced.
Yeah,
yes.
because they know the main character guy from Entourage.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
They got the chance to make this movie.
It's
like,
so vapid.
The
It's
Carlos character
awesome.
looks like he could
the
have been
Carlos
on
character.
Entourage.
Yeah.
He really does.
This
Yeah,
really
it's-
probably was produced by like the guy who's
Turtle.
like Turtle to like Leonardo DiCaprio in the real world. Probably made this movie.
Good Lord.
Yes. Perfect. It's a perfect description. So he wants to. He's
He's there to
talking
pick
about,
up a car that he sent to
and
get
he doesn't
tuned
believe
there.
that it's that she like fixed it up so nice because he's like, no way it goes that fast or it maneuvers that well, right?
He's a record producer and he hears their music.
He probably tried to make some joke about something there and failed.
Dude,
also.
Eddie Griffin,
don't even try describing Eddie Griffin's speech. You
I
can't.
swear to God, I feel like whoever wrote this was like, Eddie Griffin's gonna play this guy. I'm just gonna write some words down, and he'll like fill in the gaps.
He'll
and
juice
make
it up.
it really funny.
And then Eddie Griffin didn't. He's like, you ain't paying me enough for that. I'm just
said
reading
words.
the
He
script.
would just say things. So you go, okay, all right.
And like you said, the sound is mixed so bad that you can't hear anything. Right, so it's even worse because you don't know what he's saying if you could hear it, and then you can't. It's so
And then you hear it, and you're like, oh wait a minute, it's bullshit. It's nothing.
make any sense to begin with.
Stupid, not funny.
So he hears her music, and he's all like,
ooh, and then he's like, where's? And she's like, I can show you your car, and that's when he's like,
show me what you
how
did.
hot this car is. Why? It's
At
like,
this point, we
like
haven't
he wouldn't
even
have paid her $8,000. Like,
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Well, yeah, he's got apparently like.
do you get a mechanic's lien? She would own that car in a week. It's like whatever. If he refused to pay, it's not a big deal.
So she took him on a ride on the racetrack next to the place.
Garage, yeah. And she spins out backwards and almost hits a car that's racing around the track.
Which is the guy.
Which is this guy. He's
who has
just
a
an
burnt
old
face.
dude with a burned face and gray hair who says nothing. He never says anything. He's so awesome.
They don't even let you know who he's supposed to be except for those two random.
Don't say it yet. Don't say it yet.
And I'm still just speculating. They really don't even say who this guy is. I love him. He's just this burn victim race car guy.
He's also
awesome.
like the only person who doesn't get at least a line in the movie.
Yeah.
Like
Wait,
every
everybody
extra
has-
gets a line except
believe-
for this guy.
Dude, the bass player
That's what
got
I said.
like
Even the
4
bass player
lines.
gets a line.
The bass player of moving violations. Yeah.
So
she shows him how hot the car. She takes a
by
phone
racing,
call.
by racing that guy.
She takes
Just
a phone
remember
call
that
during
guy.
the
We'll get
race.
back to
That guy, the burnt face guy.
Yeah.
She takes a phone call. Eddie Griffin's like astounded at how good of a racer she is. So he's like,
She answers the phone while going. It's saying at 200 miles an hour.
Right.
She's just like, yeah, I'll have that part ready for you like later or whatever, and like hangs.
You're
like,
right.
And Eddie Griffin's all like, oh no, stop it, I'm getting scared. You know.
That was a great Eddie Griffin impression. I'm getting scared.
Well, no, but it was like over the top, being like, you're driving too fast and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, he was just
They
being
kept cutting over at him, like saying shit about.
In his
driving
defense,
too fast.
he might have been the only person with any life.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
in these scenes, I mean, literally everyone else is
He looked
dead
like
face.
he looked like a person that wasn't put together.
Yeah.
like in
his
a
mouth
factory,
opened a lot.
which made him talk. Yeah.
No, I just meant he could move his lips more than most people because their heads look like they.
When
were
he opened his
pulled
mouth, like his cheeks
tight.
moved. It wasn't just like the rest of the whole top of his face didn't move at all, like everyone else.
Right.
Everyone else looks like a
So
fucking
he offers-
Batman mask when
so
they talk.
she
like-
overtakes that guy, and he like crashes or whatever, and she gives him like a dirty look, and that's all you get.
That's all you know.
That's all you know.
Which
there.
is insane when you.
When you think about
This guy is at the racetrack owned by her family.
Yeah, just
know that.
Just
don't say anything else.
racing for all we know, and she almost kills him twice. And then
Just know
like,
that.
yeah, your
Badass
car's
she
good.
is.
Just remember that.
Okay. So Eddie Griffin's like, I want you to race for me in this illegal race shit that I do, this betting.
She goes, no,
no, I don't do that.
I don't do that because of my dad, whatever.
Yeah, right. He goes, well, fine. I'll just sign you up for a record deal instead.
yeah.
No.
He goes, why don't
I
you
need
play
you to
the
play
show?
the event.
Play the event instead. Yeah.
Yeah, play the event instead because that's what he does. He hires people for an event.
He does
Sure.
stuff. He's
and
Eddie
their
Griffin.
band that practices in a garage like shows up later in like the fanciest car to unload their equipment.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Directly onto the plane, like they were just driving around the airport.
Yeah, man.
With this band getting ready to go.
Well, wait. We got the important scene here is that she, after the offer, is refusing that offer.
Yes.
She goes to her trailer.
And she
And
looks
she looks at all the pictures of her dead father, and then there's one.
There's like awards and stuff. He's
She
a racer.
framed
He
the
wins.
picture of him crashing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the biggest photo framed is of him dying, like in the middle of dying.
Literally, yeah, it's like the picture of the car crashing midair. It's
My father.
But the thing is, like, the scene like zooms into the picture, and then it shows us actual footage from that frame,
but it
going
went-
forward, and then rewinds backward, and then folds back into the picture.
No, it goes zoom in, becomes real, goes backwards in time like 3 seconds, and then starts playing forward.
Then starts playing forward and gets
and then pauses before the thing stops rolling. So you're like, I get it. It was rolling. The picture was fine. I didn't need any of that to happen.
It said, dude, it said her dad's name and the date of birth and death above the picture.
Like,
I get
it. It was all explained. That footage was totally useless and awesome.
I think the person who made this movie just discovered green screen technology
or like,
and thought
we
it
could
was
do
like
it.
super fancy.
Yeah.
No, they were just super into like being like, I'm gonna fuck with people's perceptions. The cop's gonna turn off the movie. We're gonna go through photos. They're gonna be watching races on little screens. Dude, this movie sucks in an amazing way. It's so good.
Somebody outraced her father and killed him. Because that's important
I love
now.
the way you put that.
No,
He got
because it's
out-
important.
We don't know that he got outraced.
In this movie, racing someone to death is a
Is
murder.
killing them.
It's
That is
killing
murder,
them. That
yes.
is what counts as straight
Murder.
on murder.
Right.
If someone dies in a race, someone else killed them.
I forgot.
Right,
I'm
I'm just saying, Matt. I'm trying to make people understand how the
Even if
movie
it's not
seems
the one
like.
that raced them to death, sometimes
yeah.
it's someone else responds.
Is it after this when it's at the bus station when the
The bus station happens where there's a guy in an army uniform and it's like, Carlos, he's just trying to do the right thing or some shit. It doesn't
freeze
matter.
frame his name. He's
And
just trying to
then
do the right thing. He's a guy from
He's
the
waiting
army.
at a bus stop. The fucking blonde-haired like
Douchebag
Zach
from the
Morris
beginning.
pulls up and is like handing out by his car, and then these two.
He's got a bigger pop collar than I might have ever seen.
No,
Like, he
it's
could be
huge.
like from Transylvania. I mean, it's like up to his cheeks.
He's like smoking a cigarette, looking cool. These like two Hispanic guys come up and are like, "I like your car. It looks fast." And he's like, "Blah blah blah." Yeah, the dialogue is a mess, man.
It's nothing.
It's so. But Curt pointed out, we should talk about it just for a second, just where somebody will say something and then the other person will say it like the
same
same
thing
but
back.
a little bit. But they change the emphasis on a
you're
word,
you're really
syllable
hot.
or something.
I'm really hot. You know, like that.
No,
is
but
like
even
that.
more than just that, and then there'll be another scene where the person who said "I'm really hot" is like, "You're really hot," and the person's like, "I'm really hot." Like they will say the exact same scene,
thing.
but the characters swap. It's
Yeah.
like
insane,
multiple times
yeah.
in the movie.
It's pretty
People
great.
just swap lines and have the same conversation they had earlier. Like,
So Zach gets, or Josh, I can't call him Zach.
Josh is the army guy.
Carlos
Josh
is
is
the
the-
army guy.
the
Carlos
Collar.
is the
Pop
army
collar.
guy. Okay.
God, no, they're not characters.
Nobody. Yeah, we don't know anything about
About
these
anyone.
characters whatsoever, and we never find
He's getting
out.
carjacked, and that's when Carlos sees
He
it.
leaps
and
out of the
kicks
building and
yeah,
just
like
fucking
jump kicks this
starts
dude.
a fucking fight.
And then he saves them. They get in the car. They drive off. The people shoot guns at him. It's been broad fucking daylight. Remember, we saw there's a woman. There's like an overweight. There's probably like a fat 7-year-old woman just walking,
staring, shouldn't care.
looking.
yeah, there are a lot
don't
of
give
people just
shit.
standing around in the background, not reacting at all.
No,
to
there's
what's going
just
on.
a guy shooting up the street.
No,
Anyway.
this guy's shooting like
He shoots through a bus.
Yeah, he shoots through him and they just get away.
They just go away.
That's how he picked him up.
Yeah.
The bus station. That was supposed to be just picking
That's why I
someone
said
up.
there's no scene with that guy in it.
Well, no, that
isn't,
sets
way
up for
more
when-
extreme than it needs
that's
to be.
how this movie, because those guys that were trying to jack his car had no pertinence to the plot. That's how the movie
No,
sets.
they show up later. The one guy
I
shows
know,
up
which
later.
is bullshit
yeah,
that they show
but
up later.
they show up at random at the bus station.
Just because they couldn't hire two
Yeah.
more guys to be
To be
different
actors,
thugs.
they
we
were like,
ran
well-
out of money. Fuck it.
But in the script, they were trying to
Carjack.
That's how they were telling you
Michael.
this guy knows how to fight, by having a carjacking right when he's picked up from the army. Like, it's insane. Like, it's such a hack script. It's awesome.
It's really bad.
So
That's
on the
when they're
way
trying-
home,
Yeah, I love this. This is when I was watching it. I went, "This is a good movie." This scene, I was like, "I love this guy. I don't get
This is
it."
the argument in the car out
Yeah.
of nowhere.
It's so good.
Because he just says, how's
Yeah, his brother. It's
how's
like
Michael? Or
no, the blonde hair guy goes. He's like, "Nice. This car's really nice." Carlos says that, and then Josh is like, "Look, I don't work for Uncle Michael. If that's what you're asking." He goes, "That guy, he's not our family, okay? He's not family. He ruined our family. I'm gonna fucking kill that guy." Like, he just like it gets nuts where he's like screaming about how much he hates this guy and how he shouldn't be in our family and he's a piece of garbage. And the guy never, like Josh,
Nothing.
never reacts.
no, it's like I said.
Do you
they
even
edited
know
out
that
his-
that's their uncle yet?
No,
No.
they said it there.
Oh,
No, he did. He
yeah.
said
we know
it there.
that at that moment that he's
Yeah.
their uncle.
Oh,
But
okay.
we didn't know before
So
that.
Michael was the crazy guy earlier. Well, he wasn't crazy earlier. He was just laying on a car.
You
with
kind of
dick
never
pills,
know.
but
He's
Michael
all of a
look-
sudden is randomly crazy for a second.
And then he becomes
be, and then
more.
he
He dresses like John
insane.
Hammond from Jurassic Park too.
He
Just so you
really
know,
does.
yeah, like that's how he
Watch that
dresses. But yeah, like it's almost like they edited that conversation. They just took all of
Josh's
lines out. He's just like, "Well, you can't. What? No!" They just start screaming. He gets so angry over like one sentence.
And then the scene ends. Any scene where anyone's talking about
right.
something is so short. It feels like they were like, yeah, do it. Yeah.
Okay, we got to show some cars and titties,
You know how
man.
many fucking tits I filmed yesterday? There's no time for all this dialogue. I got so many asses.
We have 7 more entire songs to play music videos for within this movie.
Yeah, I mean, every time a new scene starts, it's like a music video of shots of people partying.
I think right after that, it's just like women washing a car, and you're like, what? Where? What?
That didn't even
It
lead
wasn't?
into anything.
No,
I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was just a scene of at some point a scene starts.
Does it show us Tim Matheson's lifestyle right then? Is that
Oh fuck!
is that
is
where
the
it goes? I think it is, right? Like
They get in the car.
They show his lifestyle a couple times, but one time he's a record producer,
gamble-
one time he's a movie producer.
the
No,
gambling
Infamous is
lifestyle.
a
Oh, when
record
he's gambling on the planet.
Yes.
Everyone's
this-
just like a grifter. That's like
Yeah.
what the whole movie's about. But Tim Matheson's
No,
like,
you're right. It's Michael calls Tim Matheson to be like, hey, you want to do another race?
right, to set up the big race from the movie.
Hold on.
No, they had this race in mind because he was all being like, he's supposed to be my driver for that big Vegas race. I got $3 million on that. Like earlier when they had that small race.
Well, either way, they're on the phone while we see what Tim Matheson does on the weekend, I guess.
It's just him playing poker with some people.
With a giant hotel room filled with women playing poker, but we just see it for so long.
It's point.
They
Tim Matheson's
padded the
character-
runtime of this shit with editing.
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable how many shots of people just like shaking and stuff. Like, it's just, they're doing nothing.
Everybody wobble.
Everybody act
Don't
like you're
stop.
having fun.
Just do it for like 5 minutes. I need all of this.
It's all like dolly shots
Yeah.
and stuff. Just like look at the fun. Yeah.
Like groups of people taking shots. Who cares? I get it. You're at a bar.
It's so
Fuck.
the vapidness is it. That's why
I said it before we started. I was like, "This is a husk."
I don't
want
wanna-
movie. It's
comparatively, like,
something was there.
It's
at
like the
some point
stock
by the
footage
time
they
it
could
was-
use, but they forgot to put the story in.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
like compare it to Torque. Torque actually has substance.
Yeah, there's a story.
There's
to be
actually,
told.
and the joke of Torque is substance. Like
Yeah.
there's something there.
Yeah.
This has nothing, and
There's
it's
nothing going
amazing
on.
for it. Yeah, no, it's so vapid and hollow. It's amazing.
I think what happens after there is when Eddie Griffin is at the street race, like a regular street race.
And he decides
under
to
the
race
bridge?
car
Under the
supposed to be-
bridge,
Oh,
like
God.
in the middle of the fucking day.
With the TV in the car.
Yeah, he's watching.
Because this is how his main driver gets hurt.
Yes.
That's why he needs a
Yeah,
new
yeah.
one, right? Yeah.
But this is like a race during the daytime where it's supposed to be illegal. It's like the middle of the goddamn
It's like-
day.
yeah, it's like
the
1
sun is like
PM.
directly above their
Everyone
heads.
after let's meet after lunch and have a
Well, that's what we
little
said.
race.
They were filming this when they were waiting for night to happen so they could make
Yeah,
Fast
right,
and
you're
Furious.
3 or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
So like there's this fucking shitty race where later on it shows a helicopter showing that there are people
But
filming
not
the
this
race.
race.
But not this race. It's in the middle of a fucking city.
Eddie Griffin is in the back of his limousine with like
With
hot
some
women or
woman,
whatever,
yeah.
and he on the TV in the limousine. He is watching
the race.
Really nice shots.
Yeah, of in front.
Of
You know,
in
like-
front of the cars that are racing
like
currently.
a tight grill shot of a car. You're like,
It looks
who
like
the fuck is
filming
seeing
that?
anyone seeing that?
It looks like they're watching the movie. That's what
Yeah.
I was saying. It looks like they're watching
like
the movie they're in.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, they're watching. Eddie Griffin's just watching.
Because
This
it
is
shows like a
fine.
scene that would be in this movie, but that's what he's watching is like gritty real-time footage of the race. It's still like well shot movie.
You know what
Right.
it is? No. They're just watch. It's like no, forget it. Move on.
What?
No, just move on.
Okay.
I want to talk about this.
That's how we know it's really good.
Is
Come
that
on,
Matt
just tell
can't
us.
even comment.
It's over.
His driver looks so weird. Anyway,
It doesn't matter. None
What?
of it matters.
Yeah,
The
nothing.
guy gets arrested and he's like, I need a fucking driver. And they go to hire her again, right?
No, they hire someone
No,
else because
'cause
then
they-
the guy has to fake to hurt himself.
right. We'll
that
get
he
there.
can-
We'll get there.
Oh,
he hires
fuck
that
me.
other
I
dude.
can't remember the order of anything at the beginning anymore.
There's so many drivers that you never meet. How come
The
most of
cops
the
show up.
drivers you don't get?
Well, the
anything
cops
like
show
that?
up and break up this thing with Eddie Griffin.
Yeah.
He flees. At this point, he's got another driver that's going to do the big race that's coming up, right?
Yo, that's where he tells the guy sitting next to him, the skinny white guy, you're doing the race now.
Right, because you won
He's like,
this.
what the fuck?
Right. And is that also where we find out that no, that's not God, I can't. It's so hard to keep track of movies that have no characters.
I know.
There's nothing to hang on to. It's
because there's not really a reason for the things to happen, so it's hard to remember what order they happen to because it's just like a series of vignettes of races.
Yeah. I think after this is when after this is I think it's that dinner party thing where everyone's there at the roof. The roof dinner party.
Oh yes, that's when Josh and Carlos
show up to a dinner party.
It's not a dinner party. It's at a bar. It's just a
bar.
Oh
yeah, that part
was, dude. Whatever that was.
It's showing you walk.
Why did they get into a fight in there again?
Hold on. There's something else that happens in it because that's the first time that Carlos talked. The only time that Carlos talks to Michael in that party.
Oh yeah,
I like how Matt has seen this twice.
No, you're mixing it up.
No, Matt at that party. That's when
the
Michael.
Party's at the race. That's in the pineapple.
That's a different party.
That's in the pineapple.
That's a pineapple party.
No, but this one. This at the bar is when he sees him though, isn't he? When he's like, got that Charlie don't surf blah 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 thing, even though he wasn't in Vietnam, he was in Iraq.
That's a pineapple conversation.
That's a pineapple thing, or at his house, or something.
We'll explain the pineapple thing, but
I think that happens before this. They go to Michael's
They go
house.
to the rooftop bar.
But okay,
Nat is there. She looks really beautiful.
This scene takes
and a guy
a minute
starts
and a half.
a minute and a half. They show up. They pull up. She's there, just sitting there looking pretty, and then some guy starts like getting up in her face, trying to hit on her.
He's like, "Oh, let me get a drink." She's goes, "No."
No dialogue is taking place. Carlos fucking just comes in and destroys
Pushes the
He
guy.
like jump kicks that first guy.
Well,
no warning. It's just like, dude, he doesn't like say like lay off. Give her some space. So
he just like runs up and like chest bumps him.
Totally fucking
The guy's like,
destroys
"What the fuck?"
him.
And he pushes him in. He jump kicks the first guy. Then he like somebody gets thrown through a thing. He like destroys that whole bar. The bar was on fire, and we were all. Remember, I was like, "Was that supposed to be on fire?" Because when did that shit set on fire?
He like beats up like 5 guys. Like he's like fuck, and he jumps off the
Josh,
roof.
like, "Go run, get the car." They had been there for 30 seconds. Josh had just started magging on some chick, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I get the car."
And isn't that like the second time he's been like, "Get the car"?
Get the car.
Like that's all he ever says to Josh.
Here,
Get
The
the
last
car.
scene was him fighting the carjackers and be like, "Get in the car, we gotta leave."
Yeah.
So and then he jumps off the second story of a building to get out.
He leaves by jumping off the building to get in the car with Josh, and they're riding. They're riding away, and then 2 guys.
The guy, I guess he initially pushed. I guess
I don't even know. They all look
Some
the
people
same.
chase him in super fancy cars.
People from the party that were mad chase him in another super fancy car.
And it's
whole
the stupid race ever. But then,
when the car flips for
no
reason.
Josh,
hold on.
There's a truck blocking the street, and Josh and Carlos like zoom under it, and their car's
just
so
fit.
fucking low it doesn't get under.
Right, they just
And the other
fit.
guys are like, "We can't make it. And the guy's like, "We can do it. They pretty much do.
Yeah, they just
scrape. It's like slow motion though. It's like in slow motion. You see the sparks like flying past the screen, and then they fly through.
As soon as the car is out from underneath,
the
it just
truck
shoots up in
flip
the air.
over.
It shoots up in the air and smashes into a bunch of
Into
cars.
like 8 cars that weren't there
when Josh and Carlos went through it.
You're like, what the
fuck happened?
And that's why the gambling thing happened later, because that turned out to be someone's car. That turned out to be owned by Tim Matheson.
Oh, and that's when he's like, "I need a new car."
Those guys were were Tim Matheson's driver, because they were like, "Dude, our car got wrecked."
Dude, I don't.
That's how.
I mean, that scene took like 45
that whole
seconds.
scene existed, and that's the only piece of information about it that was important, and you didn't remember it. That's how awesome this movie is. That's what I'm saying, man. It's like stuff happens, and then when you're like, "Was that the plot? Did I see plot? Did anything happen? Is something happening?"
Carlos is awesome because he should be like a main character, and he has nothing.
Because that actor was
give
terrible.
He's terrible.
He doesn't say anything in the movie except for when he gets mad in the
emotional
car.
moment in the movie. They literally give him the crux emotional moment in the movie, and it's like at this point, it's like, who are you? We'll get to there.
Yeah, we're almost
like,
there. It's so good.
He's so nothing.
No one's
He's beat the shit out of a bunch of people at this point, and we haven't even heard him say anything really.
Who were those people he was attacking in the bar? It was just a bar full
Anytime
of
someone
people.
meets him, they do be like, "Oh, he's trying to do good." Like, so I guess you're supposed to know he's a good guy because people keep saying he's a good guy now. Like,
He's
literally
a terrorist. We'll get to it.
But they say he's a good guy now all the time.
Yeah,
People keep being like, "Oh, he's in the army. He's a good guy now." Like, once you join the military, just like you're a perfect guy.
Yeah. Well, duh. You're not a car racing
okay,
maniac.
so what was the next scene after that?
Who knows? At
they
that point,
escaped
that's when
from
they
that
all
race.
get. That's when they all get to the race. It's all them getting to the race outside of Las Vegas, which is where the pineapple tent is.
Wait, and this race is like, it's supposed to be an illegal race, but it's got
But they
a
have
giant,
helicopters following it
They've
around.
got helicopters with cameras hooked to the bottom.
a humongous pineapple-shaped tent that has like air conditioning.
It's like a
and
Highway
it's
patrolmen hanging out all over the place.
There's food services.
There's policemen there.
Yes, there were cop cars.
There are cop cars
there.
there, and there were cops. They looked like Mounties, and they were weird looking.
I didn't understand what was illegal about what they were doing.
Betting,
for the
gambling,
one,
I guess.
The only one was the one Eddie Griffin did. That's the only illegal race.
And they're
in
not
the
even
movie.
watching the race. They're right
we
next to
skipped
the
something.
race in
We
this
skipped
tent.
something. We skipped something.
Okay.
Them getting to the race. It's when the band shows up, gets in Eddie Griffin's ride,
Oh, fuck.
gets in his fucking plane.
I can't believe we forgot
Skip
this.
this is so good. So
God.
Natasha and the band show up. They get in.
Eddie riding a private jet with
Eddie Griffin's
Eddie
private
Griffin.
jet. This is where we learned that Eddie Griffin put $3 million on this race.
And he says
He
that
says if he
it'll-
loses, he will be destitute.
Yeah.
That's all the money he has, which is important for later.
Yes.
Right.
Very important.
But
But then, so he's sitting there. He has this
he's
woman
sitting there with a woman on his lap.
He's like rubbing her upper thigh this entire scene.
This whole scene. Know that. Know
then-
that there is a woman that we are not going to discuss sitting on his lap. Just
The
know
entire
it.
time.
You know it.
So then he calls Natasha baby. He goes, "Oh, I got this, baby." Some other woman,
One of the
other three
goes, "Oh, hell no! You gonna call her baby? What
Oh, it's
about
all
me?
baby now,
Oh,
isn't
baby
it?
this,
Yeah.
baby that." He's like, he tells her she's fat or something. He's like, "Maybe you didn't eat all that candy. I wouldn't be able to."
And then
I'd be
she
able to
actually
fit my
picks up
hands
a
around
bunch of
your ass."
candy and throws it down.
Yeah, you're like, was
this is the
she
thing that's been
eating
going
candy?
on with that
Who
character.
the fuck was that woman? Where did she come from? And she's like getting all mad, and he's been rubbing another woman's thigh for like
She's jealous of
God
her.
knows.
It's awesome.
So amazing. And then she's like, "Pull over. I want to get off."
He's
He's
like, "This
"Bitch,
ain't
we're
a
in
bus."
Yeah, we're in a jet, bitch. And she's like, "I said pull over," and they do.
You see a shitty CGI plane
Jet landing on the highway.
landing on the highway, and they kick her out.
And she's like, "Oh hell, no, come motherfucker, gonna throw me out of this plane, blah blah." Dude, what? The tone of this movie is all over the board. They just keep doing
Yeah,
something like.
why did that happen? It serves nothing.
There were cars driving on that highway. Like, they would be an F-15 would hunt them down for that
He
shit.
had
He would just land
Another woman on his lap.
the entire flight.
The entire flight. She's mad about her. What is happening?
Wait, we never saw him call the woman in his lap baby.
She's fine.
That's the one-
I guess that's
Maybe
it's,
Yo, you can just have her sit on your lap, whatever, rub her
I don't think
thighs,
you're
do
having-
whatever. Just don't call her baby. That's my thing. You call me baby.
I'm your baby. You're my daddy.
And now we're at the
Okay,
pineapple
now we get to the
race,
pineapple bullshit.
which is not called the pineapple race. It's just
No,
this
it doesn't
tent-
have a name because it's underground, but there's cops everywhere.
It's underground during the day with cops.
But they're in this pineapple tent that is right next to this race that's happening, which is the
But they
illegal
all
thing.
stay in the tent and watch it on screens that are filmed by the helicopter, even though the race is happening
Happening right
outside.
They don't
It's
even
like
just
if
go look at it happening right next
If
to
the
them. They
tent
watch it
was just
video.
Open-faced. You know, if
But
it was
you
like a
could
little like
see it.
amphitheater
Yeah.
kind of thing, you know, you can just look. It's right there.
And it's so well catered. There's literally, like you said, an iron palm tree in there. Like they,
There's
we
like
need
pillars
that?
and shit in their tent.
Which one of them pay? Who's like
Funding
control-
that
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know.
It's got to be Tim Matheson. Tim Matheson is just like a billionaire in this. Or something.
Yeah, and we see like people. There's like that the Asian guy who bets. There's Tim Matheson, Eddie Griffin, and Michael.
Michael, the insane dude.
Right.
Braveheart.
What do they even need that extra Asian guy for? They never say anything. They just show him.
Just so it
and
could
he's
be
like a fourth.
$100 million.
Oh, and it was the $25 million buy-in. Okay.
Yeah,
it was for the math.
Seriously,
We got to
there's
hire an
be a
extra because
reason.
we need to have $75 million. It doesn't sound right. That's not a lot of money.
I love the
That's
fact
not
that
enough money.
Mike, to bet in the race, Michael uses just pure platinum.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
He doesn't use money. He just
they're
uses
just
platinum
bars. It's like, yeah, this is what I do.
I don't know
just
what
carry
that
it around.
added to anything.
Is,
Like,
it,
here's
is that
platinum.
supposed to like be like foreshadowing to the fact that he's laundering? He makes
Hold
fake
on.
money.
Oh,
But
Maybe
yeah, dude,
that's why
that-
he doesn't trust money because he knows so much is fake because he has his counterfeit money machine or whatever.
We'll get to that.
Maybe
Jesus.
I'm saying maybe that's what that's supposed to
Maybe
be.
that's what
I
that
don't
is
know.
supposed. Mate, you're right. You know
Like
what?
he
You're
traded-
right.
It probably is.
counterfeit
I'm
money
not
for
saying it
platinum?
makes sense or it's good foreshadowing. I think that's
No, you're
someone
right. That is a
was
plot
trying-
point, though.
Yeah.
I guess, man.
They're
Maybe
trying
that's
to
what
be
that was
like
supposed-
he doesn't use cash because he knows that shit is fake.
Or
'cause
he's
he
just
makes fake
really
cash.
weird and thinks platinum.
They do make him weird later. Like,
Yeah.
You haven't noticed that he does anything weird besides.
He's not super weird until he watches the concert. So they're meeting up. It's all this like horse shit of people being like
Partying and-
It's just what
The
God,
first
They had the
race-
band play one
the
song
band
during
plays
the
a
race.
single
Natasha's
fucking
band
song.
plays one song.
Eddie Griffin paid for them to fly to
At that
fucking
point, when he's
Las
playing
Vegas.
the songs, when Michael like
Oh
looks
my
at
God,
her, he
this is
falls
it.
in love. He's like, oh, he just
What'd
looks
you
at
say?
her
You're
eyes.
like, he looked
like
like
he's
he's
gonna
about to
cry.
cry.
Just,
He's like,
ah! He just couldn't take it.
And he
It's
like
so
walks
beautiful.
through the crowd, and they keep there's a shot where he walks up and there's a guy standing in his way, and he just stares at the guy's face until the guy steps out of his way, and then he marches forward
That's
slowly.
great.
They're showing Carlos watch too, but every time they show her looking back, it looks like she's falling in love with Matt.
With
Michael,
Michael,
yeah.
right?
It looks like she's falling in love with
You can't
Michael
tell
in
who
that
she's
scene.
looking at because you never.
Yeah,
it's
she's just
just
looking
her
like
face.
yeah.
Right.
It's just her face. Who the
So
fuck
it looks
is
like
looking
she's
at?
falling in love with Michael in that
Wait.
scene.
Okay,
Well,
so
then you
definitely
have Carlos
thought he
looking
but
at her
that's
too.
after the first race, right? There is a first
Oh,
race.
there is a first race. It's
Why-
between the Japanese guy and Tim Matheson.
and Tim Matheson's kid.
No, Tim Matheson.
He was in the car.
What the
Well, no,
fuck
he
you
was
talking
the
about?
betting guy
There's a
with the
race
chick.
that happened that didn't have anything to do with
It
the
was-
story.
right,
we
but
thought
that was so
funny.
over-edited, it was
yeah,
hilarious.
Yeah, it was like 5
They
minutes
also,
long.
you gotta understand here. You gotta watch the movie because during this scene, it's so over edited. You can't even tell who's in front of who.
No.
Like that simple. But there's also CGI cars.
Like you're playing Rad Racer. Or
Yeah,
something.
it's like on top of the shot. There's like CGI Rad Racer cars showing you where
Where
the
they
cars
are.
are on top of a shot of the cars themselves. You got to see it to
It's-
understand it. It's insane.
This movie's like melting my brain. I can't even think anymore. I don't know how to process information.
I can't
anymore.
imagine putting all the time and money in
Dude, there's this
watching this
split
end
screen.
product. Watching the end product. Can you
Imagine being the guy who had to edit this movie
Everyone
together.
committed
He's like, oh my
suicide when they made
god.
this movie. That's why nobody
Nobody
ever heard
ever
of it.
saw 'em again,
There was
yeah.
no premiere because they were like, well, they're all dead. Who cares? Just put it in theaters.
That's right. The bootleg you have is from the premiere. The one time it
one
was
time
shown.
it was in.
Fucking
the theater.
dude, in the bootleg, there's no like audience noise. I bet it was the director who killed everyone who showed up and then watched it in a room full of dead people and then killed himself. And I have the only copy. That would have been awesome.
Oh god, it's so nuts.
All right.
So
but,
then
but
Michael-
during that race, there was the split screen stuff. Where
Oh.
it was like shots of the front of one car but the back of the other, and then it would
Dude, there were
switch
some
where they
shots
were.
where it
but
sh-
then the horizon shot, yeah, dude.
Yeah, there's a split screen horizontal shot of the cars driving away and towards us
forward.
at the same time.
So good.
It's insane. There's even shots where it splits down the center and you see both halves of both cars put together as though they were one
car, but it's
What is
so
like-
poorly done.
But it's like, is that supposed to say something?
Who knows?
They
that
are
race,
one.
we didn't need to see that race.
Yeah, and it's so over edited. It's insanity.
They
Okay,
really
so-
thought people were going to be like, man, car racing.
They really
is
need to
cool.
get whichever song was played over that race in there for that soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack.
That's why that
it was a
scene's
music
there.
video. That
Yeah.
that race was
definitely
it was a
music
great
video.
music video. And then that's at this point
So
we
the
get to
band
see
plays.
band plays. This is when Carlos and Michael talk for the first time,
Yeah,
and the only really time they kind of talk.
kind of, yeah. But then, no, they talk. That's what I'm saying. It had to have happened earlier where Josh took him to the house and they had a conversation. And they had that conversation where we didn't understand. It was like he was telling him a story, but it didn't
About
make
a
any
surfing
sense.
or something.
Yeah, it was whatever. It
Carlos
doesn't matter. That
hates
happened.
Michael, and Michael's insane. Just know that
They walk by
Yeah.
each other and they just glare at each other over their shoulders. And then Carlos intimidates Josh for not being focused on the race.
No, Michael intimidates Josh.
I'm sorry, Michael. Yeah.
But Carlos hates the... God damn it. Here's the motivation for the characters. Carlos, Josh's brother is mad at him because he's racing and it's dangerous.
Yes.
Michael, Josh's uncle, is threatening basically his life, saying if you don't win this race,
I'm gonna
you're fucking over.
Yeah, he all comes up when he's talking to those girls and is all like,
right. He's like, hey,
why are you
girls,
talking to girls? You need to be concentrating on the race.
He gets that guy. Remember the guy that's super strong to grab his dick, which that guy's super strength never really comes into play at all.
Oh, and now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he punches the guy in the stomach. And be like, oh, he's tough.
It's so tough.
That was when he first shows up in the.
It's like Michael's number one lackey. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the motivations for the characters.
Which God damn it!
I guess you're supposed to know Michael's lackey's tough, so that when Carlos fights him later, it's like you're impressed or something.
I guess.
Even though they don't really show that fight much.
No, not really.
So Eddie Griffin gets his driver. I'm sorry, I'm like breaking out here. It's so stupid.
Hard.
It's so hard.
It's so hard to remember why anybody did anything because it didn't make sense.
Motivations are so loose. It's like
I don't even know how far into the movie are yet because it's just like a series of like 7 races.
Stuff.
I don't know if we're on like the second
didn't know where it was.
The movie has no.
We're lucky we saw as much of this movie as we did because it could have started anywhere and ended anywhere.
Yeah. Eddie Griffin gets his driver to trip over something and break his leg or
pretend to
break his leg, and then then to make the long story short, he offers Natasha
money and
$300,000 and a record contract to do the race instead, and she's like, "But my dad." But okay, fine for money.
Well, I don't want to skip
that's one of those things where they say something back and forth. Where he says something and she's like, "Everybody, that's not enough. Everybody has a price." Blah blah blah. They do the same conversation the other direction right afterwards, where she says, "Everybody has a price."
He's like, "Yeah," because he offers her 50.
No, he goes 120 or something and a record contract. And she turns to the band and the guitar player's like, look, it's not about the money.
It's about you.
I'm your British guitar player.
Don't you remember? I'm close with your mother, as we'll find out like in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
for some reason, I'm talking to her like we're the best friends of the family forever.
And I've been an established character now for 40 minutes.
They all work in the garage too. The whole band works in the garage.
Do they?
Yes.
I thought they were just hanging out there.
They were wearing like
I thought that was like their shtick. They're the moving violations.
The moving violations were overalls.
I thought they had a mechanic theme.
She's like their boss.
Okay,
it's weird.
I didn't get that, but okay.
Yes, they all work. That's why they're there when fucking Michael shows up later.
So her band, her bunch of like,
her band
is a pit crew, and their name of the band is in Pit Crew.
No,
the Pit Crew.
Stop. We don't overthink that, but they all work there. Okay, we got to get through this. Jesus Christ. She agrees to do the race, and then right before the race starts, Michael has 4 platinum bars, and he's like, they're worth $1.2 million each. And he's like, fuck, I only brought $3 million.
Eddie Griffin's like,
I only brought $3 million. And he's like, all right, well, I'll take your $3 million and your driver if I win. And he's like, done deal. Right? So then the race happens, and it's between. So
just to clarify, Natasha, Eddie Griffin, a black man,
just sold a woman.
Being
yes, he just sold a woman.
Good job on that script. Good job.
Hey.
Well, but it's just like I like he's just selling someone that it's like it's not like she's working for him for this one race.
Yeah, it's not. It's like she's a servant.
That's like if I sold you guys to someone like I've met those guys before.
Yeah,
I'm right now hanging out with them. I'm pretty sure I can sell them now.
Do you want him? I'll sell him to you cheap. Well, yes, that does happen. But so then
which I just thought just meant let me have her to race.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We're gonna find out.
You would think it meant that.
So
weird.
God, you wouldn't think it means I have a cult of kidnapped women.
Shut up! All right. So the race happens. It's Natasha and Josh, and they're racing, and Natasha kicks the shit out of him, and then in the last straightaway, fucking Josh hits a nitrous button, makes his car redline, and then it's going so fast that
it basically flies.
The spoiler rips off, and then the car soars into the air and starts flipping. It just took off from the ground. Like he was going so fast That it was gonna fly.
I want to really emphasize that how little we know about Josh at this point.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's no. I'm
He's
not
driven
worried
a
about
car
him
a
dying
bunch.
because I don't know who he is at this point.
He's just some guy who drives cars.
He's a piece of shit.
His
I don't
head
care.
is white. I don't know.
No, yeah.
His hair is perfectly blonde and his head is white. He's just a man.
Right. So
So he flips in the air,
crashes
but
horribly,
it slides across
but
the
he
finish
wins.
line, and
he wins. Yeah, he wins by dying.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And then Carlos is running out, and he's running out,
Dude,
going like,
it's like-
Josh.
No, it
Josh.
shows the shot of Josh inside the wreckage. He's like, I really showed him, didn't I, Josh?
No, he goes, I won.
I won, didn't I? Yeah,
I
something
won,
like that.
bro.
That's it. Yeah, he said,
I won,
The
bro.
whole car explodes. Just a giant explosion.
And fucking Carlos throws himself on the ground like he's being
Yeah.
tased.
Yeah.
Like, why? So good.
No, he falls to the ground, and there's like a
Oh,
above.
people are like pinning him to the ground.
Yeah, because he's like, I'll kill him.
Michael, I'll kill you.
Michael. Yeah, he's
so good.
Because Michael's the one who made him crash and
Mike
explode.
crashed his car.
I mean, yes, he was part of
pushed
the
him.
racing.
He pushed him
pushed
to
him
use
to
the
do it,
illegal
but he's
nitro
not-
that killed
But
him.
Josh did it.
He told him to just really race. The fact that he died was insane. Like, it was a straightaway. He was just going straight. It's really Josh's
That was the
fault
thing.
if you really think
No,
about it.
he went so fast that his car like took off like it got lift.
he drove. He pushed himself too hard. It was Josh's own real.
Maybe this
look,
is-
I'm just
maybe
saying-
this whole movie is just a bunch of Greek myths. Like that was Icarus. Yeah, we weren't paying enough attention to get that it's a series of like.
Oh man, we should watch it again.
Right after this, we're
we'll
watching
finish
it.
up and watch it again. Might have a different story.
Yeah, no, but to blame Michael for this is very disconnected as far as like the story too. Like, okay, so
Well, I guess you know that he hates him. That's why he flipped out earlier. So
Right,
you'd be like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's why he hates Michael because he already hated him.
Yeah. Well, yes.
right.
I rationalized that I was joking. He is to blame. There's no reason this happened.
There's
Except
no
he told
reason
him-
any of this was happening.
Well, he could have lost the race. He told him if he
Yeah.
lost, he would die. So he was like, well, I guess I need the win. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kurt. I'm sorry I messed with your mind.
It's okay. I forgive you this time.
Okay. So he dies.
He dies
When she stops, she spins a bunch, like smashes into a wall.
She's
and is
unconscious.
unconscious.
Yeah.
She gets pulled out of the car by one of the lackeys.
He goes into an
Yeah.
ambulance. They show
They
them
put her-
loading her into an
loading her
ambulance.
into- they
And
say
the
we're
band is like,
taking
what
her
hospital are you taking her to? And they're like, just go
Los
away.
Angeles. He says Los Angeles. Remember, because you
Yeah, he
Right,
says
but
Los
they keep
Angeles.
saying what hospital, and he just doesn't tell
but they're in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's why I
So
was
they're
like, why
taking her to a hospital in Los.
Los
That's
Angeles.
what
Oh, maybe that's
Kurt said
supposed.
it.
Maybe that's supposed to be the whole point. Is that they're saying we're
Oh.
not taking her to hospital, and I just figured they were taking her to hospital.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Oh, so then the
deception.
guitar player like calls the mom and is like, "There's been this
That's
is
the
fucking
best
funny."
because the mom, as far as the mom is concerned, she went there to play a gig with her band. She was
All she
not
knew.
supposed to race. So the guitar or the bass player or whatever.
Whatever.
It's a guitar
Because
player
he's like,
calls the mom.
he's on the
The
phone with
guitar
her.
player is the most lines.
All he says is there's been an accident, and her mom's like, "What happened?" She's like, "She's in the hospital." They don't mention that it was a
terrible
racing
singing accident.
Yeah, what the
It's
fuck
just like-
happened?
She was in a
hangs the phone
terrible
up and looks
singing
at her
accident.
husband, just like, "Oh dear!"
you
Like,
guys go play at the Roadhouse?
yeah, what the fuck?
What happened?
He didn't mention it was a racing accident.
Yeah, at all. So that's when, god damn it, that's when it shows Carlos be like, Carlos goes to this building.
All of a sudden, he's in like Black Ops. Oh no, this
Yeah.
is when he goes to get the weapon.
Yes, it's like he just runs up to this building and it's a guy fixing a screwdriver and he beats on the door. The guy comes up and he goes, "Are you in business?" He's like, "Well, yeah, obviously." And he's like, "No, I mean,
are you in business?"
And then he takes him back. And he just outfits him like a goddamn like special op where he's got all things attached to him, bags full of things. You don't know what the fuck he's handing him. He doesn't charge him anything.
It's like
He
he's
asks
turning him into
once.
Batman.
He goes, "What's this about?" He goes, "I don't want to talk about it." Then he just gives him a bunch of free shit, and then he leaves.
That's it. That's
And
that scene.
scene's over, and you're like,
You never see that guy again.
who the fuck was he? How did he know him? What was he doing before he joined the military that he knows how to go just be outfitted to fucking lay siege on a goddamn estate? Like, who the fuck is this guy?
That's why earlier in the
Who is
movie.
Carlos?
That's why earlier in the movie they kept being like, "That's Carlos. He's doing good now." Like Eddie Griffin said that. I think they're trying to be like, he used to be into all this fucked up illegal
dude, he
shit,
has-
and he
yeah,
joined the military
only-
to get special killer training, which is always a good thing to
Which
give
is
someone
also,
who's
by the way,
fucked up shit in the past.
But he not only has access to free guns and shit, he has intel. He knows where everything is in the movie. There's no explanation for why he knows exactly.
He knows exactly. Well, I mean,
I told you they turn him into Batman. He has everything planned ahead. He has like explosives placed all over the place for when he needs them in the future.
God damn it, Kurt, we're not there. First, you see Natasha wake up, and she's in this like fancy bed, and she's in underwear, like sexy underwear, and she's in this bed. And Michael comes in and puts down a tray and wakes her up, and she's like, "Where am I?" He's like, "You're in my house.
You're mine
house.
now.
You live here now."
Oh no, right. I'm yours now.
He's like, "I'm yours. You live here now. This whole place, you can walk around. You're free to do whatever you want. You're just mine, basically.
Everything that I own is yours."
Yeah. He's like, money doesn't matter.
And he says like, once we have grandkids, we're gonna love this place when we're 80 years old.
No,
our
this will
grandkids
be a funny
are
story.
Yeah,
it'll be like, this will be a funny story when we're 80 to
it's
tell
so
our grandkids.
insane. It's
when
insane.
I kidnapped you after a race. But then it starts showing you like
his house.
Everything looks like a music
like
video.
estate.
It's like showing different parts of his estate, and there's all these women doing yoga, and you're like, did he kidnap all
these women? It's like it's like a Colombian drug estate.
Yeah, he looks
on
like
a mountain. It's like
dealer.
on a fucking mountain or somthing.
It's right on. Yeah, it has.
It's like this hill, like with like jagged rocks leading up to a home. What is he doing? These people.
We still don't know what he does. He just bets on races. And I guess the counterfeiting.
That's
thing,
when you find out he's a counterfeit
that's
machine.
When you find out, yes.
Well, after the scene with her, like.
So this is all right. So this is the true plot of the movie. We find out, and it kind of happens in the middle of it, which is funny.
Yeah, because nothing has made sense at this point.
Michael promised to make $80 million of fake money for someone. Do we ever see, except for his lip? We see his lips and his chin, and we watch him murder a guy.
It's like Dr. Claw.
Yeah, this is the scene where we see him kill that guy. He's like, you owe me $80 million.
It's a guy
in
we
fake
don't
currency.
know holding a gun to the head of some other guy we don't know.
I don't know. I feel like we're supposed to, but just we don't recognize.
All you see of him is his eyes.
I guess it was to show the guy's evil, that because he will kill someone.
I mean, not his eyes, his mouth. All you can see was his mouth. He had like
the guy doesn't even know he killed someone because he stopped paying attention.
Shit! All right.
Wow,
my God. We gotta speed this
up.
So
now that we're almost halfway through the movie.
This is the middle of the movie. So then, he has to make all this money. His counterfeiting machine is on the fritz.
His counterfeiting machine broke. It doesn't work well enough anymore.
And I love that, man. I love that.
Does that mean is that where he got all of his
main source of
money?
income is counterfeiting, but he doesn't have an outfit. He just has a machine.
A machine.
I'm pretty sure
that two scientists in lab coats who come and go, the machine isn't working.
Which is true. That's what happens.
Two guys in lab coats.
I don't know much about counterfeiting, but I'm pretty sure it takes more than one machine. Like, to write that into a script, be like, the machine isn't working. It's so
Maybe he had like a Star Trek replicator and he just was putting like a $100 bill in there.
Oh, Lord.
The crime machine isn't working. That'd be so awesome if it was a crime.
I wish. This movie would have been even better.
He owes that guy what, like $80 million?
$80 million, and he's like, "Well, fuck you and fuck this. This is ridiculous. I'll get you your money."
We don't really do we know why exactly?
He just keeps going like, "I need more time.
But we don't know why he owes him the money
because he couldn't counterfeit him the money.
But we don't know why he was involved with the counterfeit.
Well, because he had the counterfeit machine.
That's what I'm saying. Like the guy's like, you owe me either $80 million in fake money or $80 million in real money, and then at that point you're like, wait a minute, what is
that's
happening?
in a movie where somebody's like, either you give me a bunch of fake money or a bunch of real money.
I don't care anymore. I'm tired of waiting.
I have a number and I want that much of something. Or else you're dead. Like, what?
Oh, fuck. And that's really why anything happens in the movie. From now on, because the whole movie is not really a plot until you find that out, and then you're like, no one knows about this.
And I don't even know.
No one else knows this. Michael's the only one who knows, and every time he talks to anybody, it's all this fucking horse shit. That doesn't make any sense.
It's still like not even a plot. That's still just like setting up the last race.
Yeah.
It's just a setup for another race. It's not even a plot. How is that the plot?
I didn't even realize that. No, I really didn't realize.
No one else knows why anything's happening. Like he tricks Tim Matheson into the like. It's just like no one else is aware, and they stop him. They stop him, and they never do anything. Sorry, I'm not there yet.
God, we gotta go fast.
So then they have one more race that's $25 million each to go
we're
in.
not there. We gotta still talk about what happened, Kurt.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So
Carlos
breaks her out. He goes there to kill Michael. He's like outfitted for assassination.
No, it's like the end of
basically.
Commando. It's like him like taking out a whole fucking Colombian drug lord.
But then he decides
hotel.
just not to do it just because he found her. He's
He
like, well, I
sees
guess
her,
I'll
he
just
goes,
leave with her.
I'm not gonna kill you. I found her and she's really hot. Bye.
So they leave. They go to a hotel, which you thought was pointed out was really funny. They both like sketchily look
They
in
walk
the
in the hotel, like scan it in front of what? Like a booby trap thing?
Oh wait! Before that is when Michael is in. All right,
He's racing towards the gate.
Hold on,
Right.
Earlier, when she was like checking out the facilities, like
Right.
walking around looking at stuff, Michael was
right.
in his underwear, burning all the fake money while dancing and like
He's
throwing
shirtless
it around.
in his underwear
In a
like,
little gazebo,
in a
stone
like a
gazebo.
temple. No, dude, it's like a temple. And he's like dancing around a fire and throwing the counterfeit money in.
Everywhere. It's insane.
That point is
This
when
is
I
the point
love
when-
this
No,
movie.
this
This
is
is when they decide he's crazy now.
yeah, he's
Because he
insane.
hasn't been really
He
acting
hasn't been at
crazy
all
until
No, but
around
then
this
now
time.
he's just he's insane.
So then after they escape, he's in a kitchen eating spaghetti, and he says the craziest shit ever. What did he
That
say?
has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, so
he's yelling at that guy.
he gives him this speech that doesn't make fucking any sense. It's just him being like, and that's why stuff is. Because if there wasn't stuff, then there wouldn't be anything.
You think Gandhi had to put up with this? It's like it was crazy talk. Yeah,
It's absolutely insane. And then the guy comes
when
in and
Carlos-
goes, they escaped.
And when Carlos is escaping is also when he has just like the explosives everywhere. Like he planned every single
Oh,
thing.
yeah, that's right,
He
yeah.
blows through the door like he has like a remote control. He's just like, well, I'm blowing up this gate now. I'm blowing
he
up this.
runs through the front gate. It
light
blows
post,
up.
yeah.
He
blows up
detonates
before
it.
they
It
go
blows up.
through.
Then he sees that the guy's
being
chasing
followed.
him. So he
he blows
blows
up
up
like-
another, and like a light
light
bulb
bulb
falls.
falls,
yeah.
Like, who
He's like-
Set all that up. When
is he?
He snuck in from the back. They showed him.
He's
snuck in
he's
from the
pretty
other
much
side.
Batman.
He's
Pretty-
Carlos.
It's like he was planned for everything. Yeah.
So they get away when they tell Michael they got away is when they cut to like Nat and Carlos walking away from the burning car, and you're like, why the fuck are we looking at this,
Dude,
And it plays like
it's
triumphant
the best
music.
cut.
Like you would have thought they just burned Michael in that car, like with the music that was
Michael
playing.
he gives that
No,
whole
they said they
speech to
took
that
his
guy.
favorite car. Mike said they escaped in your favorite car.
Because they had LoJack on it. I don't understand why they burned it, but that shot didn't make any sense.
No, because dude, he's yelling at the guy in the kitchen. He goes, "They escaped," and he's looking away from the camera, the main character, the main villain, and it just cuts away. His reaction is nil.
Oh yeah, they don't
It
show him
cuts
react.
not to an explosion of the LoJack car, but just to
it on
them
fire.
already walking away on fire. And there's no fanfare to the cut. It's just like, oh,
That's happening now.
that happened,
They
and then
escaped.
they show up at a motel.
They
And
stay
look
there.
At,
They get
they
drunk.
look at it like something's gonna happen, and they're
No,
like,
what's
oh,
great is she
okay.
takes a shower at the motel and then goes to meet him at the place and has like ridiculous
This shit is
makeup
happening
on.
so fast. You need to
Yeah,
understand how fast this stuff is happening.
Kurt pointed out, she has makeup on. She got kidnapped.
Oh, she got kidnapped.
Woke
in
up,
her underwear. She got kidnapped in her underwear.
escaped, set a car on fire, took a shower, and now she is fully
from the
clothed
hotel. She's fully
with
clothed
makeup
with
on.
makeup on to meet him at a bar that we have no clue where it is.
That's why I
You
thought she was
can
going to show
hear
up at
it
the
from the
bar in her
hotel.
towel because I was
Right.
like, all she has is that towel in her underwear, right? Is that what she's going to
how
wear
did
to
she
the
put
bar?
makeup
in
on?
underwear?
Yeah.
They fall in love with. There's nothing more to say
dance.
than they dance and fall in love at the bar and then fuck in
They
the
fuck,
hotel.
it's
And these are
whatever.
two characters that we don't really know.
Yeah.
Well,
that just escaped
you
the
know probably
fortress
the most about
after
her than
she
any
was
other
kidnapped. That's what just happened in it's like a 10-minute span. He raids a fortress, saves
That's what I
her
said.
from a life of rape to go to a hotel to fall in love.
When I told Bob we were doing this, I was like, I already know Bob's favorite part. And it was that, because I called it the Bad Boys 2 part, where it's just like, why did any of this happen? They're just sieging a fucking coke dealer's house. This is nuts.
But there's no drugs. It's
No.
he's a counterfeiter.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying, because this movie was made as a front to get drugs from Colombia. So the whole thing was like, we got to film that one scene in Colombia, fill all of our camera equipment up with fucking fine-ass cocaine and bring it back home to fuck.
Dude, this feels like it was so rushed, and it is a front for something. I gotta believe. Because who would read it and be like, do this?
Yeah. Dude, we got
Everything.
Eddie Griffin.
Eddie Griffin's on board.
Greenlight it.
Yeah. Just put him
Tim
in.
Matheson.
God. The guy from Braveheart. Yeah. Okay.
And that guy from
they're in love now.
Tim
They've had
Matheson
sex.
is the one that you know by name, and then the other guy's that guy from Braveheart. That's when you're low. When Tim Matheson is the by name above you.
All right, so I think at this point is when Michael convinces Tim Matheson to do a race for $25 million apiece.
Yeah.
Right. So that he can get $100 million, so he can pay the guy $80 million,
and he has to pawn everything he owns and sign it over to the bank to get his $25 million
to get $25 million.
in this.
And also now at this point, Eddie Griffin is one of these 4 people who puts the $25
Eddie Griffin
million.
buys into a $25 million race, even though he lost $3 million.
He's basically said his net worth was $3 million earlier,
and then he lost that $3 million. That was his net worth.
Now he's buying into $25
million.
Okay,
what
is happening?
What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
I guess he signed some hot new record.
Apparently.
But
people.
Michael's plan is sign over everything he owns in the world to bet in this race.
Yes.
Which still wouldn't give him his $80 million. It would only give him $75 million.
No, there's 4 people.
Yeah.
25 times 4
he's one of the 4.
He's right.
He doesn't actually have
but
his
he
25
has to sell his $25 million shit.
I guess he could
He'll
buy only
save
$20 million of his
million.
stuff back.
Yeah, he'll lose
Okay.
$5 million of his shit.
Yeah.
He'll probably have to lose the yoga ladies, I would assume.
Oof, that sucks. I would lose the house, keep the yoga ladies dancing outside my tent
Before
or
the final race happens, though, Michael sends a bunch of thugs to kidnap Nat's
mom
to force her to drive in the race
for him. So he can win the money to pay the counterfeiting guy that we don't ever know.
He doesn't tell her
that
why.
she doesn't know about.
She doesn't know why it's happening.
That's what I'm saying. That's the plot. The whole plot forms right there, and only
which also
one
makes
person
you
knows.
wonder, when Carlos wanted to kill Michael, how come he didn't still try and do that? How does he even know this guy's going to kill him for not getting his money? They just give up on trying to kill him. He has no idea he died. He's just like, I don't care about killing him anymore, I guess, now that he didn't win that race. I don't care about if he's dead.
What the fuck?
Wow, that is so fucked.
Anyway, God damn it. They have a race. The final race is a thing that happens.
It's the race between Nat. Wait a minute. No, here it is.
Did we miss something?
No, we missed
the guy who killed her father.
Oh, fuck.
Burn face guy,
character.
the revelation.
Yeah, so the burn face guy is shaking the hand of the Japanese guy who's in the race, and Nat sees it, and then it shows the
footage of her dad's car
wrecking again in the photo. It doesn't show you any more,
or less.
It shows you the same fucking thing. So you don't really know. I just assumed that guy's responsible.
She says he killed my dad, though. She says that out loud.
I don't remember that.
No.
I thought she goes, he killed my dad.
No. No one's around her when she sees him. She just
How
gives
much
him ice
of the
eyes.
dialogue did I
What
just
if it
hallucinate
was
for
her
this whole
dad
movie?
and he was
You
disfigured
were just
in
filling
the
in the
crash?
blanks.
and
I think I just
threw
filling
his
in
family
blanks
away?
because there was no way to tell what was going on. I think my brain was just making stuff up so I could try and make it out.
never said
it's like
that
an
he killed him.
optical
Dude, there's
illusion
no way that-
of a movie.
You don't show her father's death, which you've already showed us, and that guy, and assume that guy who's old enough to kill her father.
I'm saying it could be her dad.
And he looks like he was in an accident or something.
Yeah, he looks like he was in a car wreck. Her
Maybe
dad
that was
crashed
her
the
dad?
car, came out of it,
But
a
at
different
this
man.
point-
Maybe it was her dad and he just
your
left
fault
the
that I
family, and that's
crashed.
why she hates him.
Yeah, it was her father. No. At this point in this movie, to reveal something so odd, like, wait, the guy from the
Who
not
trains
important
on the
race at
race-
the beginning with Eddie Griffin.
Who trains right next to where I work every day.
This
Is
is
the
how I
guy who
just noticed.
killed my father in a race?
What?
And he's here now?
Why?
To race for the enemy?
Why? It didn't have anything to do with anything. It's insane.
And how
I
is she
feel like
just
they
noticing?
I feel
that guy
dude,
was racing right next to her house.
I got
all
it,
the
guys.
time.
Yeah.
I gotta
How did you
believe
notice
that
then?
somebody in the editing room was like, they took a shot of her staring, added a shot of him, and then added the shot of the car crashing and said, that way, that guy now has a story.
No, someone
Come
just
on, man.
was writing this, did that, forgot about it, and then near the end,
they're like, well, oh,
when
the
somebody
guy
read a draft before he was finished, was like, dude, you never
She's got to race against the guy that killed her father, who also works next to her daily. What? You gotta explain why he's working at her fucking family's mechanics office.
Oh, fuck. That guy's awesome. He's awesome.
Now the drama between them comes to a head after, like, what, years?
It doesn't, though, because in the race, someone else runs him off the road, and he flies through the air, and she goes, what did she say?
Like, have a nice flight.
Yeah, have a nice flight.
Yeah, have a nice flight. But it's so quick, too. The cut is just like, have a nice flight, and then it cuts out. Like
it's not like, dramatic at all. It's like, have a nice flight.
It also happened behind her. She couldn't see that happen. She didn't do it. She would know he died, and then she's got a smart quip.
Maybe she's talking on the phone to someone about it again. Who knows? She's always talking on the cell phone.
This shit is held together by a thread. It's
barely anything. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so crazy.
To reveal something so significant to that character in the last moments. Like, what? Okay.
Fine. Who cares? So, all right. We forgot. Michael has the mother kidnapped. She's at like a boxing gym. And
she's like,
Carlos goes there immediately. And it doesn't explain why he knows that she's being held there or anything. He just shows up there.
He shows up, beats the shit out of the guys there, saves her, calls Natasha, says your mom is safe.
So while she probably was on the phone right there because it was Carlos calling her being like,
wait, did they try to establish?
I'm safe. Oh, no. You know what? Dude, the guy who killed my dad's dead too. Dude, today is awesome. I'll call you back when I'm done.
No, she is on the phone with him. She's on the phone because it's like, why did you stop? And she's like, my mom's free. He calls her and lets her know that her mom is okay while she's in the race because that's what
I'm saying.
From winning it.
That's what I'm saying. During the race, she's on her phone being like, oh, is my mom dead yet? No, she's alive.
Do you guys realize, though, that from the perspective of this movie and who was making it, they felt the need to establish that she can talk on the phone while driving?
Yes.
They established it in the beginning of the movie.
We thought of everything. This script is bulletproof.
Wow. They were worried that at the end when she was on the phone that we'd be like, well, this is bullshit.
How can she drive while talking on the phone?
Everything has been airtight until she used the phone.
There's no backstories for any characters, but they made sure that was explained.
That she has the skill to use a phone while racing. Like, that's what they made sure. You cover that, okay?
Oh, my God. That's incredible.
That's like the major plot point they came up with and then wrote the movie.
Yeah, somebody was like sitting around like, what if you could talk on the phone while racing? That's like the first sentence that created.
Why would you ever need to talk on a phone while racing? I wrote this script. To answer my friend's question, I think it's pretty good.
The name Redline is probably some like slang about talking on the phone while driving that we don't understand. That's like supposed to be the whole point of the movie.
The movie is about that.
Talk on the phone while driving.
While racing.
Redline.
So the race happens right before she hits the finish line. She thinks she's gonna win. Michael's like shaking a
Michael's so
bottle.
excited. They're all in the pineapple tent. And they're like, yeah. And Michael's like ready to win.
She stops right before fucking Tim Matheson wins.
Yeah, she stops like, right before the line. Like, she literally breaks.
All right, here's what I want to point out. We don't know why Michael's able to have this huge house. Like, it seems like he's a drug dealer, but you can't really tell. He's had a woman kidnapped and was prepared to kill her because when the race ends, he calls and he goes,
no, he
take care of the mother.
He says kill her. Like, he would be a murderer.
Carlos answers the phone. He goes, I did. She's fine.
No, he says, do it. He says, do it. He's just like, do it. And then
he says, like, take care of the mother.
He does.
Okay.
And he's like, I did. She's fine. And he goes, well, I'm fucked, right? All right. So he was about to have a woman killed. He lives like a fucking coke dealer. His entire world is gone. He lost all of his money.
All of his money is gone.
He's lost all of his money.
He's got people that want to kill him.
There's this guy he needs to give $80 million to who's going to murder him.
Right.
The person who just fucked him. Oh, we forgot when she stopped.
She literally puts
gives a middle finger to a camera.
To a camera, yeah, right when he's realizing he lost.
Some camera, like,
because he thinks he wins. He thinks he's about to win. She's about to win and stops right before she wins.
But how does she know he's gonna see her give a cameraman the finger somewhere?
Right at the moment that he
doesn't know what the feed is doing.
She doesn't know about the feed. She's never watched one of these.
Everything with them watching the feeds is terrible in the whole movie.
But anyway. So this guy's a maniac. He's completely unhinged already, too.
No, he's insane. He's literally showed
She
that to be
ruined
insane.
him.
Yeah, no,
He just walks up to her and goes, I guess there's nothing else to say. And she goes, I guess not.
She's not afraid of him at all.
No.
Or anything.
She's smiling. He should be eating her. Just diving on top of her and start eating her face. What the fuck? You don't just go like, oh, I'm dead now. You just killed me.
He's having one of his crazy money-burning Zen moments.
I just didn't understand.
Maybe
that.
because he knew he was already dead, he didn't care about any. But then you would think, okay, so he knows he's a dead man. I want to kill everybody. I thought he was gonna go on a rampage there.
He should have just.
He'd be
pulled
like,
out a
get the
machine
guns
gun
out of the cars
and just start killing everyone.
Yeah,
We're taking the $100 million. We're leaving the country.
right. I thought something was gonna happen there, and he just gives up.
No, he just
the
gives
next
up.
scene is him literally in a toga almost.
He's just
eating a
wearing
cheeseburger and drinking himself to death when he knows, and then he gets a phone call. Hey, we're coming to get you to kill you, and he's just like, yeah.
And he walks out.
He walks out, gets in the car. That's his story.
He's dead. Done.
That was the plot.
That was the only plot. And the movie keeps going because after she's like, I beat you or whatever, then Tim Matheson's like, hey, I owe you I got 100 million reasons to be happy
100 million
about
reasons
you or whatever.
like
And
you.
she's like, oh, it's okay. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna help you out or whatever.
And so then it shows that her like records at the top of the
Yeah.
charts.
She's on
'Cause
the
he's
front of
also
Variety.
Moving
Yeah.
Violations is the newest
Moving
craze.
Violations.
Dude, no one is buying a fucking album from a band called Moving Violations.
What is this,
Especially playing music-
1981?
Yeah, maybe
Come
then.
on.
Maybe
yeah.
then.
In 2007, no one is buying that.
No, this
No
movie
one.
takes place in 2003. I thought we decided. It was filmed
what-
in
even
2007.
then,
Takes place in 2003.
No, in any 2000s, no
Yeah.
one's buying an album by a band named that.
So it shows Tim Matheson being like, hey, we made all this money in the record business. And then a guy on the phone says the stupidest line where I was
It's
like,
amazing.
now it makes more sense when they were covering their ass by the end of this movie to be like, some of this has to make sense.
Something, but that
And it's all
didn't
this
need to be
menial
explained.
shit.
It
It's all
doesn't-
this menial shit. So the guy on the phone goes, oh, I guess that's why you bought her those 2 cars. And then it cuts to them standing in front of 2 super hot cars.
But like you said, the fact that the movie thought it
That we
needed
needed
to
to
tell
know.
us where the money for
those
sports
cars
cars
was.
showed up, even though we're in a movie where sports cars are just showing up at random in every
Everywhere.
scene.
She also got $300,000 and a record deal already earlier.
We don't need explanation of where those cars.
Well, no, she
came
never
from.
got that because
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Griffin sold her instead, or whatever.
Oh, God.
Slavery.
Yeah, but-
Damn it, you're
But
right.
she already had. We know she has a record deal because she's a hit.
No, but
You know what
it's
her
Tim
band
Matheson
sounds
this
like
time.
in this movie too? Have you ever seen on the Ben Stiller show when they do Beverly Hills 90210 02120 or whatever?
Yeah.
And at the end of each episode, they do the song, and it's the same song, and it's all like, "We learned something today. I am a young adult."
Oh,
it's like
right.
that song, except they say like, "I'm driving a car."
Yeah, the
The
lyrics I
car of
remember
my
were,
heart and shit like that, but it's like the same
Right.
song. Like,
She sang "Rev Your Engine" and "I'll Rev Mine" was like the chorus of one of the songs.
ugh.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Anyway, so it cuts the
So then
shot
it
of them
shows
with
her
her
and
and Carlos, who are now in love. We don't know. We
I
still don't know.
guess.
Carlos is still a fucking shadow of a human being.
Yeah, they're
to
all
us.
shadows.
And
I
then-
met her family and I still don't know anything about her.
Now,
I just
to
feel like
point
her
out-
mother looks like they couldn't afford Reba McEntire. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
wanted
her mother
Reba
is like
McEntire
Reba
to play-
McEntire light.
They couldn't afford Reba, so they got some like weird.
Just to note here, just to
Third-rate
note,
Reba McEntire.
as far as we know, Carlos and Nat are not criminals.
No,
They are not thrill seekers.
Carlos,
They are not thrill seekers.
Hold on, like you
No,
said
she
earlier.
is because she likes driving
No.
cars.
No.
She was
really.
afraid to drive because her dad died, and she still never won a race in the whole
But then
movie.
she
It's
killed-
not like she's like, well, now I got a taste for
The
it.
guy
'cause
who killed
I
her
won
dad
a race.
died.
She
so
didn't
now
win
her fear's
anything.
Her
gone.
arc is not about liking to
She
race.
shouldn't want to race. And you mentioned
No.
earlier that he was mad at Josh for the evil racing.
For the evil
for
racing.
the
He
dangerous
got, like,
racing.
right.
Then they decide to have a fucking illegal street race
Matt,
over her
the
pussy,
two-
basically. It's like, what the fuck? And that's the end of the movie.
No,
with
they
no
have a
resolution.
race. They could have killed human beings at the end of this movie after the plot has taken place.
Yes.
For fun. It's insane.
No, her loving to race, though, Matt, she was afraid to race because she thought the guy that killed her dad was going to kill her. He died in that race. She's like, the streets are safe.
But she
There's
raced
no
him
bad
on the
man
track.
anymore.
She raced him on the track, Kurt. That's not what it is.
No, it was badly. It's just not thought out at all.
That guy shouldn't have been in the movie, and
The
that's
fact
why
that-
he's my second favorite character, because it's like, why?
If they just showed
It's
him racing,
why.
but the cops weren't after him, it would have also been fine. But
During
like,
that race,
now
too, they
they're
knocked
criminals.
the same cop over, and
Yes, again,
that
they-
comes
Oh,
back
from the very
Like all the
beginning, yeah.
details are there. It's like, we forgot
The
the
movie's
right
like a
characters.
mirror image of itself. It goes,
Right.
no plot, dumb things, no plot. Here's a plot, it goes away.
Motorcycle
more no
dad
plot.
killer talking on the phone.
It's like they,
As long as those three things come back, it's good.
We're great.
it's like they wrote details, but they didn't write them around the
Around
main
many
story
characters. Yeah.
It's like if someone did a painting, like instead of painting the house, they just painted like the little things around the house.
Yeah.
There's no main
yeah.
subject. There's just little details around it.
Just painted the door jams. Good
Yeah.
job. What the fuck are you doing?
All right.
So this movie's incredible.
It's on fucking Amazon Prime. Watch this fucking movie. I can't believe I don't remember this existing.
I now wish
You see like
Insane.
every movie.
No, it's more just I remember like trailers really well. I know
Oh,
like if you remind me of something, I'm usually like, yeah, I remember that trailer. Don't remember this at all.
No, I never heard of it. That's why
I
I
don't
bought
know this
it.
came
I
out
was
like,
Maybe
like,
it
is
only
Griffin
came out in Canada or
2007?
something, and that's why there's Mounties.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they were
those
Mounties
cops
at
look
the
like
final
Mounties,
race.
but the bike cop didn't. It is such a vapid Fast and the Furious ripoff.
This is a 2-pack. If there was an awesome 2-pack of this and Steel, like that would be amazing. Like if you watch these two movies, you wouldn't know what anything meant anymore. You would watch a real story and you're like, why are they telling me all this stuff?
yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
Why is there all this substance in this movie?
Wow, this guy talks so much. So many words. I can't.
No, you know, it's literally like a script written by like an MMA fighter. Come on, you
No,
know,
you're right.
It's like, hey, what would they have written?
There's a movie on Netflix that touted itself as an MMA masterpiece, and it's like a horror movie.
Well, we'll watch that eventually, I
Anyway.
guess. Okay. Anyway, Redline's amazing. Watch it, Kurt. Thanks for
Yes, thank you for doing
thanks
this.
for watching.
City Huey, that's my name now.
City Huey, thanks for doing this.
Sorry, Brad. I knew nothing about this until I was already here.
It's over. Bye.
You have just listened to Bonus Disc. Questions, comments, and movie suggestions can be posted to facebook.com/bonusdisc. Opinions and criticisms of the hosts and guests of Bonus Disc are 100% valid because they sit high atop Judgment Mountain. So quit your whining.